Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Colin Dawson with the Political Minute. It's been a long time since I've been able to see Bill Maher and everything else, and it's just an absolute gem to have something on that's not stereotypically Republican, everything else, but yet still seems to be middle of the road because both sides in this war of Iraq that's over with now have gone so far out to consolidate the power from the Iraq war and anything that has to do with Syria, where we've had troops there forever, and everything else on those areas, say, even Ethiopia. And it is something that we will consolidate. And we will consolidate also in the civilian section, but it's personality and situations. It's politics with this. There is some other things like how the oil reserve is now filled up, other things like that. But I can say with this right here, the reason why Kamala Harris did not do so well in the primary is his calendar. 1,000 looks like 89 days waiting on solar. And as he opened, he said China was able to make within 1 day prefab cities for quarantine people to live in. This is just absolutely insane. And he has a little shack, and I've seen these solar shacks, and he's a guy who can pay for his stuff. He's not wanting the government necessarily to pay for it, but he's waiting for the government to get around because the government has to install it and say it's A-OK. California's political system could not unify enough to get behind Kamala Harris or anyone else. It's why she didn't do so well. For you to have a person from your state actually run, you have to have basically the top 30 cities all unified. You have to have the senators and, the state senators, because in Tennessee we have our own state Congress. Most people go on their own state representatives, but we have senators and representatives that go through the state and this huge bureaucracy. You have to have the governor behind them. You have to have 90 to 80% of everyone there, instead of just going, I could do that like her. I just didn't think about it today. If they're in, okay, think about it next time around, or think about getting in with the cabinet. Get behind whoever actually filled out the paperwork and everything else. And honestly, you can tell that it's disorganized because that's the way it is for the solar panels there for it and everything. And that's why it's like, I was sitting there going, solar's got to be kicking in. Solar's got to be kicking in. I'm expecting, this one stock and everything else. And it's like, if I had known this about California, I'd never told anybody that I actually thought that stock would be there. If California could get its act together, we would have solar. And I was just looking at it going to $1.28 because I'm a penny man. And it dropped 10 cents and I'm just going, what's up? And I know I look at things really weird and really differently. They had a fire circle tonight. It was beautiful, the fire dancing. I could only stay for like 40 minutes and I had to get home and cook the week's food and everything else and all this other stuff. And I'm just going, all the other points they're making on here is beautiful, great points about everything. And I just look at the overall picture and it's like they're still talking about Trump. Trump's being relegated out, everything else. He may show back up here in 2.5, 3 years. He's going to. He is. But I was just completely, 1089. How could this be in America these days? And honestly, I hate saying the VP is where you put people at to freeze them out, to ice them like a penalty box. There's a lot the VP can do. It can consolidate all sorts of things out there under legal situations and revamp the police and everything else and go through there in the Office of Vice Presidency. You can basically do what their forte specialty was before then. So I'm just going, this is our law and order under the radar person. This is our law and order under the radar person if you're a liberal. And even if you're a conservative, it's like, I support the police. It's like, yeah, we can work on things. There's things we can work on together. They're going to be taking, 15%, a dime and a nickel from your paycheck. So, Might as well be like, hey, can I work on some things? I know I live in kind of, in the East Coast, I'm like incredibly liberal, but guess I'd be like, raging Arnold Schwarzenegger in the West Coast, for stuff. But I'm just saying, in this, hi, we work on some things together. I don't know how else to really say this. Again, Trump's in, you got to work with Trump. Biden's in, you got to work with Biden. Now, I know I've taken a month off here, a little bit more, and I've been trying to get things together, trying to get organized, and all you do is just keep seeing more and more. I'm going to start my writing back up, and I've got some things to send in Library of Congress because I can't put them on YouTube. I don't care. I'd stick it in there and be like 25 years. Yeah, this is what I said. I said it. And, I'm not going to be like, someone was behind me, giving me special help, giving me whatever it is, or any of that. No one was asking me to do this. I don't have a script to read. I don't have sponsors. This is what it is. And I've got just so much looking at how everything works here and is being done with everything. And I just have to say that it's just been a great time getting back here and everything and trying to get caught up. And we're going to have the bills paid off. We're going to do it all. And, I loved one of the quotes from Tucker Carlson. History doesn't repeat itself. People do. And we just don't need to repeat ourselves the same way again. As always, thank you. Call it Dawson, the Political Minute.